Let's now look at the learner control. Learner control. When we talk about learner control, it is also known as locus of control. We are just looking at whether control of a program is given to the user or it is in the program itself. There must be a combination of the two. There are things the designer should be able to do, and there are things the user must also be able to do. Okay, let's look at 3 considerations in the one. You must look at what and how much control you need to give. We will look at the mode of control, and we also look at the methods of control. Okay, so how much, what and how much can learners control? Now, the sequence of the program, next, back, selecting what to do and all that, should reside with the learner. And also how fast the program must go should also reside with the program. Other optional things for content difficulty should also reside. So the learner should be able to choose easy, should be able to choose difficult, expert, and all that. There should not be time pauses. Time pauses is that the pages should not disappear after some few fixed minutes. No, that is what's called time pauses. You must always allow learners to temporarily terminate. So assuming they are reading about geometry and they feel that it's boring, they should be able to exit and then take them somewhere, or they should be able to end and then come back to where they were later. And that is what we call the bookmarking. Okay. When you have global controls, global controls are controls that appear on every page or slide or scene that should appear, like close button, like minimize button, like maximize buttons. These are global control because for every page you must see it. Okay. You may have your user-defined global controls. If you are using movies, then you should be able to fast forward it, rewind and pause and all that. So you must give adults more control than children. You must always give adults more control than children because they may, by looking at on face value, adults may have more experience than children. So you give them more control. You give them more control than children. Now, when learners are experts, you give them more control than those who are not experts. Now, if you feel that the mastery is the key, if you want them to master the content, not just going through the content, then you must use more of program controls. Program controls means that, let's say you have 3 levels, you have 6 levels within which to teach the child something. So the child can start at level 1, finish, take a quiz, and then if the person doesn't get it well, come back to lesson 1 to take it again. If the person gets it, goes to lesson 2. That is program restriction. So that a child cannot move to level 6 if you have not done level 5. I hope this is clear. Okay, so when you do that, you make sure they have mastered 1 before you go to 2, before they go to 3. Okay. If you find out that the person's performance is poor, then you must restrict the learner control. So if you can also have a situation whereby you give them room. So you have 6 levels. All right. Learner starts at level 4. He goes through the lesson and then takes a quiz, and is not able to answer the questions. You can take the person back to lesson 1 so that the person can go to. But then if the person goes to 4 and is able to answer your questions, then it means you can allow the person to move on. But you must do that with caution. Okay. Now we have some methods to control. You have buttons. You can use menus to control. You can use hyperlinks. Okay. So if you have buttons, the function of the button must be clear. If it is start, you must show that it is start. If it is exit, you must show that it is exit. If it is watch videos, you must show that it's watch. If it is exercise, let it be clear. Okay. It must necessarily have rollovers. That is, when you hover on it, it must show you what it is about. That is, if it is not written on it. Okay. Now, buttons must provide confirmation that they've been clicked or hovered. So when you click a button, it must show, maybe a change in color must show that this thing has been clicked or hovered. Okay, let's look at menus. For children, buttons are the best. For adults, menus are better. So you can put together the controls in one menu so that when they click, it drops down and they see it. Okay. You must make menus always accessible, keep it simple. Global control, use menus for global control such as choosing next activity, obtaining help, exiting a program. So that is it. Don't use menus for frequent actions like going to a page. So next, back, all that, these are frequent activities. Home, it must not be in a menu, lest your users will not see it. Okay. Hyperlinks. You must avoid invisible hyperlinks. Now, when I put my cursor here, you see the cursor has changed to a hand, meaning when I click this, it will take me somewhere. But this is not showing. Nothing is there showing that this is a hyperlink. So that is what we call invisible hyperlink. Invisible hyperlink. So if for expert users, fine, but for novices, let us know that you are using a hyperlink. So the underlined one, let us know. Okay. Balance text hyperlinks with readability of the text. So you must make sure if it is a text hyperlink, it is readable. Then use cursor change, rollovers, confirmation with hyperlinks. So once I put it here, you see the cursor has changed. That tells you that there is something, there is a change. And then it shows that there is a hyperlink. Okay. So if there's a picture, if a picture includes a hub, we must make it clear. There are 3 modes of control. Now we can have mouse control, we can have keyboard control, speech. So if you are using mouse, let mouse be the primary mode of control. Let mouse be the primary. Use keyboard as secondary. Then speech will be tertiary. Okay. So we have learnt about learner control. We have learnt about the introduction of a program, which includes a title page, user identification, and directions. Now we have looked at learner control, what to control, what and how much to control, the modes of control, and the how. Okay. Now let's look at presentation of information. We'll look at in our next lesson presentation of information.